I do want to get into the Chief of War stuff because that's the most relevant thing right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just so awesome to see our culture, all the Polynesian people, the islanders come up over the last couple years, right? With Moana and
Yeah.
then Lilo
And
and Stitch and
Stitch.
now Chief of War. This
Yeah.
is kind of like like phases, how Marvel has like phase 1, phase
Yeah.
2, phase 3. It was like,
Early
Moana and
Avengers.
Lilo and Stitch and all this. And now this is like Avengers Endgame right now,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
It's Chief of War is the biggest production, the biggest platform that Native Hawaiians ever had,
Yeah.
or ever. I mean, I don't want to say are ever gonna have, but ever had to this day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
being able to watch it, chicken skin, like, you know, I just I was so proud just to
Oh.
see everybody, especially just, as a small Hilo boy from,
Are you
going to
from
Hawaii.
Hilo?
From Hilo, yeah, I'm
Oh,
from Big Island, from
man.
Hilo,
Oh, cool.
going to Hawaiian immersion school, and
Yeah.
we're the
Yeah.
same age,
Yeah.
93.
Yeah, yeah.
Happy almost birthday,
Yes, thank you.
July 18,
When's yours?
March 27.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you've
So I'm a little older than you.
yes, yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, carry on, sorry.
But so we grew up in the same time in different places,
Yes, yeah.
When I was growing up, it was in the second decade of the Hawaiian Renaissance, of the
Of
language,
course, yeah.
right? So it wasn't necessarily cool to speak it back then, right? Like I still felt embarrassed to speak it going out in public with my dad, and just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not that anybody made it embarrassed,
No,
like
no.
not like they were judging me, but in
Yeah.
my head, everybody speaking English and you want to fit in,
Assimilate,
right? Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly. So
totally.
like when my dad speaks Hawaiian to me in a grocery store, I don't want to
You're like, "Damn,
respond
not
back in
now."
Hawaiian because I don't want people to look at me and judge me,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Um, and I've always wanted to go to New Zealand because I went to Punana
Yeah.
and the Punana was based off the Kohanga
Yeah,
Reo
it
in
was. It
Aotearoa.
was, yeah.
So I just feel like we've always had this connection, right?
Yeah.
Um, but when you were growing up, what was your experience with like the language?
Oh
Because
gosh.
the Te Reo Maori had a similar experience to Hawaiian,
Yeah, yeah.
and they are like the blueprint that we followed
Yeah,
to revitalize the Hawaiian language.
totally. Well, I can only use my friends as examples of
Hmm.
people around me who are Māori, and they had similar experiences of like, I'm Māori, but I can't speak it, that
Hmm.
language trauma. Because I think the similarities with Māori and Hawaiian is that your languages were banned
Hmm.
and removed from, publicly speaking, you were punished at
Hmm.
schools, all these awful things. Tongan Samoans, they have their own language in their own countries and then might assimilate when they come to Aotearoa or Hawaii, America, Australia. So it was that similar thing, a lot of shame. And I think they say whakamā, it's like, I don't want to be perceived as other in this kind of, white mainstream society. But in terms of speaking Tongan, I don't speak it.
Hmm.
I can understand it. When I was younger, my, comprehension was a lot better. But my mum made the decision, which is kind of like the opposite of like
Hmm.
your experience. She, really struggled, coming to New Zealand at 10, and her English wasn't good, and it was something she was embarrassed of.
Hmm.
And she just wanted us to assimilate. And then when I, got older, I was like so mad at her. I was like, that's such a gift to know your own language. But now as an adult, I can understand why she made those decisions. And probably like for you, like now as an adult, you're like, what a gift that
Oh,
my
such
dad
a blessing. It's a
talked to me.
superpower. I say it's a
Yeah.
superpower to
Yeah.
be born with that.
Yeah.
Just to, be born and speak two languages in general. It's
Totally.
just amazing. So,
Totally.
so lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so wonderful. So coming into Chief of War, I was like, I don't even speak Tongan, man. What? Which is it kind of worked in my favor because I know with some of the Māori actors, it took some time to undo some of the vowel
You have to
sounds.
unlearn some things,
Yeah,
right?
like the
Yeah.
T,
Hmm.
replacing it with a K. Whereas I had a blank slate. I was just like, yeah. Whereas, we grew up with Māori, in little bits at
Hmm.
school, but not in the way that it should be taught. So yeah, that was like a big shock of like, oh gosh, like here I am making this thing, but I don't know my own language. And what I actually learned is that it's inspired me that it's not as hard as I think it was.
Hmm.
We kind of have these societal blocks of like, oh, it's too hard basket. I'm not going to even attempt. But kind of watching how we all rapidly learned, it was like, okay, this is actually things make more sense in Hawaiian. Like there's only 13,
Yeah.
letters, and I can understand it much better than English that is so too many rules. Too many rules. And then there was funny moments like Siwa, he plays Nahi in the show. His olelo is amazing. But he would literally pop out of the room to take a call from his Tongan auntie, speak, lea whakatonga with his auntie, then come back in. And Kiawe would be like, bro, you were so good before. What happened? He's like, I talked to my auntie. So he kind of banned himself from speaking Tongan in moments where he needed it. So we all kind of have our own stories with, the Olelo Hawaii and how we approach that. Someone like Brandon is from here, he went to school here, grew up here. And, he would write everything over and over and over. And other people would write things out phonetically, not the correct spelling, but things that made sense in their mind.
Yeah, whatever worked for them, right?
Yeah. And it was so cool to see everyone. I was like, I'm going to try that. Okay, that doesn't work for me. Like writing it phonetically looks like, gibberish to me. So yeah, finding that was really good.
Yeah. Speaking of Brandon, his Olelo Hawaii was really good. I was impressed.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I try not to be too judgmental because it's my first language.
Yeah.
And it's just like I've learned other languages before. Like if I was trying to speak Spanish or Malagasy, I'm not gonna sound the best.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna take time.
Yeah. So just to see everybody like do it on screen, take the time to learn. You got to give them respect and props just for that.
Totally. But
there are some people who are better than others, I will say.
Yeah. And there's people who had more time, and there were guest actors who got a week versus us who got months.
Yeah.
But we really have to thank, our kumu, Kiawe, Kalei, Roberts, Kaho'okahi, all these people from Avaiulu who just, hammered it, again. Like we all look like crazy people. Like Timaweda Morrison was on the beach, I don't know, in Waikiki, running his lines, and someone on TikTok, took a video.
Look at this guy talking to himself.
They're like, Jake the Musk is talking to himself. Like, what's happening? And I'm like, that's hilarious. No, we're all trying to learn Hawaiian here.
Yeah. So how long was the whole process from getting casted to, I guess, filming and then editing? Because at least a couple of years, right?
Couple of years, yeah. We're coming up to 3 years since we all kind of found out that we're going to be a part of it. It was 2022 I auditioned, and I was like, man, I need to be a part of this. Like, whether it's a small character that comes in with one line, I will do that. As you said, there's never been a show like this and at the scale that is going to be seen globally. Even if it was behind the scenes, I'll look after the kids,
I'll be the babysitter.
I'll do that. And, I kind of got to the point where they're like, we really like you, over months and months. And then they said, you have to do a chemistry read with Jason Momoa. And I was like, cool, chill, not that famous guy, no pressure. And he was filming Fast X in, where was it, Rome or something like that. And so he was not available for a really long time. And I remember stalking his Instagram, is he finished with the film? I'm ready to do this audition. And a previous audition, I had my short rose hair, the bob. And when I went for one of the auditions, Thomas Paasiva, our writer-creator, was like, can you take out your hair for a second? And I was like, this is going to cost me the job. The big reveal. And it was a mess. And he was like, cool, thank you. And it was just silent. And I was like, I'm sorry, but men just don't have imaginations. They can't see the full, they're like, short hair. I was like, what about the performance? So when I went into the chemistry read with Jason, oh my God, my stomach is churning. It's a shakati.
It's a shakati,
yeah. Digestive system. I actually bought a wig, a cheap and nasty synthetic wig. Didn't have any pins, just threw it on and did 2 scenes with Jason, and his internet was cutting out. So I was like, I think he said his line. I'm just going to say mine. It was, I didn't think it was the best, situation. But afterwards, Jason was like, congratulations. And I was like, let's just not, until it's in writing,
exactly,
let's not celebrate. And I was like, thanks. It was so funny because, he asked me how tall I was. He was like, how tall are you? Because it's Zoom. It's like, do you think, let's rephrase that, how short am I? I'm 5'2". And he was like, okay. And I was like, oh, another thing that's going to cost me the role. Because Kahumanu was 6 foot. And I was like, how tall are you? I knew how tall I was. I watched Game of Thrones, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, you mean how short am I? Oh, I'm 6'4". And I was like, how the hell are we going to share a frame? And everyone's like over 6 foot in the show. So
Yeah,
like,
everyone's really tall.
I'm just sharing, the screen with someone's like chest.
Yeah. You just see the top of your head.
Yeah, exactly, every frame. They're like, oh, Apple box. Yeah, so that I owe a lot to those Apple boxes for sure.
Wow. Well, I mean, I think they did a great job of casting you,
Oh, thank you.
despite the physical, the height disadvantage,
Yeah.
right?
That was the first thing they were like, she was 6 foot and like 300 pounds. And I was like, yeah, but later in life.
Yeah,
you just-
later.
yeah.
You were still growing.
Yeah. You don't know
didn't
what
hit your
we're
growth spurt yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They even have a part of history where you were in the WNBA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now that's in the season 3. So Apple TV, you guys better renew it so we can
Exactly.
see Queen Kahumanu in the WNBA.
Yeah, and then we'll do like motion captures.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see Luciane dunking it,
exactly.
Yeah,
Never felt that feeling. Never dunked before. I'd love to know what that feels like.
Same. Yeah. Oh, well, those smaller rims, like the 8-foot rims.
Yeah,
I've
like
done
it.
that. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's so funny. I didn't know the background of how it happened.
Yeah.
And even talking to Pa'a, because we saw each other at a fitting for Manaola.
Oh, cool.
And I finally got to meet him. It was really awesome, and he was telling me a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, which whenever he comes on, he'll share.
Yeah.
But just to know, like, kind of the struggle, just trying to get the language.
I know.
Approved, and like the location filming, like all of that is like, it wasn't an easy thing to make.
No.
Probably so much convincing to like the executives and whatever
that have no idea, and like it would be amazing if we shot it all here, but like every time we put a camera, we're like, resorts, okay, this way, okay, there's like not enough land, we did get to, like, thankfully shoot in Kalapana and Big Island, different parts of Maui, like beautiful lava tubes, like places that only if you know the islands, these like specific spots. But yeah, like it was quite hard, all these moving parts, and to convince a studio like, we want to do it in Olelo, Hawaii, and these actors actually don't know how to speak.
And give us $100 million, by the way.
Exactly, and these big battle scenes. But it's great because Kaina Makua, who plays King Kamehameha, incredible. I remember he wasn't there at the beginning, but Jason was like, way too meek, Kaina. That's what Jason was.
Nice.
Way too meek, Kaina. He's amazing. He's this farmer. And I kind of had a perception of him, but he was just this cool, calm, collected, like, knew exactly why he wanted to be a part of this show. Like, he's not about trying to be the next movie star. He's like, this is for my keiki. Like, my ancestors, my kupuna, like, want me to do this. So I was like, okay, he's the right guy. Because I was like, he could be anyone. I'm just looking at a picture of him. Yeah. I didn't realize that, he was such a big part of, like, his community in Kauai. And we made this agreement. He's like, I'll help you with the olelo if you help me with the acting. I was like, deal, bro, deal.
That's a great exchange.
Yeah. And, like, we understand that, Kaiana is well known, Kalani Kapule, like, is also, like, another big character, but the ones that people really know is Kamehameha, and that's not easy shoes to fill, or lack of shoes.
Not,
yeah, no slippers back then. But and who's related to him in the history books? Kahumanu. So like, we were very steadfast on like some of our decisions, and wanting to make sure that we could do the best that we could. And we kind of had that partnership, because they're like, I feel like people are going to look at us the most and be like, with a fine-tooth comb, because there's so much pressure. But I think he was the perfect person to play.
Totally, yeah. And I hosted a panel with him before,
Oh,
and
good.
his olelo is so
I
amazing.
know.
I love people that speak in that kind of kupuna,
Yeah.
where it's like the old school, and
Old
it's
school,
just
yeah.
very this like valika olelo, where you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so beautiful.
So great.
Yeah.
And what I've learned about the language is that everyone has different opinions.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
you learn something from someone, they're like, why are you saying it like
Yeah, even when I'm watching, I'm just
Yeah.
like, why did they use that word?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, there has to be a reason.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, I don't know all the words in English.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
English is like my main language that I speak. So
Yeah.
like, who am I to be like that's wrong?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and I remember there were times where you're like, is there another way I could say that? Because, you're getting, choked up on a certain line. So there was like reasons for that. But yeah, I was like, okay, there's no right way of doing this. There's people who, have an old school version, that don't use okina or kahako, like, and then there's people who like stand by it. So once I kind of learned that, I was like, I can like ease up about trying to be perfect, because it's kind of subjective in some ways,
Yeah.
not always, but
Yeah, I mean, I say this with learning all languages when people are learning, because
yeah,
I've learned about 4 languages
Yeah.
in my life.
incredible.
And one, you have to just be okay with failing and making mistakes, or you're never gonna learn. That's why sometimes when people drink, it's better because
Really?
they don't have that, their inhibitions are lowered, right? And
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
they're not afraid of making mistakes. They're just like,
Yeah. It's just
yeah.
rolling off the
I've
tongue.
seen people do that, and also it's like you're just gonna have to do it. Makahana kaike,
Yeah.
in doing you learn.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
gonna just have to put it out there, and language is so, like you said, subjective. Even Hawaiian specifically, one word could have multiple meanings.
Yes. Ike,
Right?
like,
Yeah,
there's like
ike.
3 or 4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A'o. A'o is an
A'o,
interesting
yeah.
one. It's to learn and to teach.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like,
yeah.
it's all contextual, right?
Yeah, totally.
So,
And the
yeah.
way in which you learn it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I think it's nice that it has the subtitles that people
Yeah.
can understand.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I don't want to spoil it. I don't know if I can say this.
Can't spoil.
Well, just for reference, only the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything, but I just won't say anything just to be safe. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Apple will be watching.
Yeah, let's move on with
Yeah.
Apple.
They'll be
Yeah,
like, "Shh."
just in case Apple wants to sponsor this episode and throw some money our way. I just
So the
won't say
final
anything.
scene of the show.
Yeah. I can't believe everybody died in the first episode.
And then we just follow the trees.
Yeah.
The wind.
You were so great in the first 2 minutes of the show until you
Died.
got speared in the head.
Yeah. Plot twist.
Yeah. The coolest thing about the show, I think, is not just the Hawaiian, but it's a historical.
Yeah.
It's
Real people.
You're watching it, and it's like a world like you think of Game of Thrones or the show Vikings or whatever.
Yeah.
But this actually happened.
I know.
Right? You're seeing stuff and it's like, wow, that's gnarly.
Yeah, but
Wait,
it's
that actually happened.
it's cooler. Like
Yeah.
people are like, you're kind of like the Daenerys, and I'm like, but cooler,
But
bro.
cool.
Like,
I mean, dragons are pretty cool. I'm
They're
not
pretty cool.
gonna lie.
I mean, I love that show.
but you were also cool.
yeah, but I was like, she actually did all of this.
Yeah.
But that was the most exciting thing for me, approaching Kahumanu, is that like, obviously she was so loved by people, and still to this day, every time it's her birthday they commemorate her and the things that she did. And then when I like talked to some more people and I was just kind of picking their brain, I would find differences in opinions, and that's so exciting for me as an actor, because it's like, oh, you guys have different feelings, kind of like a politician. Either you like love them, or you're just like, oh, that's our
Yep.
prime minister or president or whatever. And it's really not my place to judge her, or to be like, well, I know what happens in the history and I'm going to plant the seed right here.
She actually would have done this, I think.
Yeah, it's like really not up for me. I had to like remove all of that, like this Western feminism that didn't even exist. It was a completely, the couple system was so different. The way women and men interacted, I can't base it on anything that I know in this modern day world. So rejecting that and just kind of, there's a book. What is it? Nakumu something. Oh, I don't know. It kind of had like, oh my God.
I know there's Nana Ikekumu.
That's it, Nana.
that the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine actually stole it for me.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
think
okay.
I've still got it. It's from a library. Sorry if I'm missing that. But yeah, you could look up certain, topics.
Mhm.
And I like really pulled off that. But yeah, like I really love the idea of that depending on how you look at her and her legacy, you can have a difference of opinion, right? Because we know so much now. But at the time, I think poor Kia told me this. He was like, I truly believe she was doing right by her people. And she believed that, in the end, she wanted to get the language written. And, that so happened to be through the Bible. And so, like, hearing all these perspectives really allowed me to, like, take away how I would normally look at a role and like, well, I know in history this is going to happen and she's going to break couple and all this stuff, like
Spoiler
yeah,
alert.
spoiler alert. But like I just had to like get rid of that, and she's just a young girl off to get married to the king, which is a very honorable thing. But yeah, I'm gonna start spoiling things. I think.
know it's so hard to talk. I do want to say this because I know there's gonna be a lot of people watching it and a lot of people in Hawaii. I mean, if you don't have Apple TV Plus, go subscribe right now. At least do the free trial, right?
Yeah.
Just watch the
Watch it.
first episode.
Yeah, plan it out.
I don't know how it is in Aotearoa, but over here we have such a strong, supportive community. But then we're also our own biggest critics.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right? So I know people are gonna love it, but I know people are gonna be so critical about it, about Jason, about the Hawaiian, the culture, the story, and
us being in it. Yeah.
The our New Zealand ohana.
Yeah.
I just want to please ask people to give people grace and don't like. They are doing Jason. I don't know him yet. I'm gonna see him soon. The whole cast, crew, Pa, everybody, even Apple TV, even the people, the non-Hawaiians, they're doing something for our culture that nobody has ever done before. And the people that are gonna be complaining, the couch critics, they aren't doing anything. Like, you have to remember that. Like, you are not doing anything. Whether it was maybe only 98% correct, factually correct, they are doing something and you are not. Maybe you're doing something in another way, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But we gotta just be proud of what we're about to see because it's never been done, ever.
Yeah.
And they are putting their time, their effort, blood, sweat, and tears, I am sure. Watching, there's definitely blood, sweat, and tears. That's not an exaggeration. So I really hope our people will not complain too much.
Look, that's inevitable. And like my kind of thing is with this topic specifically, people have every right to feel the way that they feel, and especially Kanaka watching this because, for a lot of people that's their kupuna and they're like, okay, you're going to play it like that and you're going to get this person doing this. So I understand that. And I don't think it's wrong if they do. Like everyone's entitled to that opinion.
Freedom of speech, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But, the feeling that you get, I'm sure when you watch the first episode, when you hear the first line or you see the ahu'ula, the maheole, like all of those things, you're like, oh, wait, hold on, pause. Like this is like another feeling that, I've never had before. I always think of, I don't know if you saw that video of the Black Panther cast watching the trailer for the first time at Comic-Con. They were like, wait, what? We made that? Like, obviously they made that, but it was kind of that pride in seeing the first Black Marvel movie. And that's Doug, our showrunner, and I, we presented the first trailer at a gala, and we were like, yeah, why did they pick that shot and all that stuff? Then they played it on the screen, and we were all hugging, like crying, So there is like so much pride, and as you said, this hopefully is the first of many. Hopefully that cracks the door. And my biggest takeaway is, critics will say whatever. I'm sure they have opinions, but the biggest critics for me is like the keiki, like, and how they feel. And for this to be important and almost normalized for them, that they're like, oh yeah, when I was little, I watched a show called Chief of War, and yeah, they had this, and or it implores people who aren't Kanaka to be like, oh my gosh, I've deep dived into the history books because I was addicted. Like I wouldn't put the books down post the job. Even our costume designer was like saying, it's just so fascinating, and there's always more characters, or not characters, they're real people, more ali'i to learn about. And yeah, I just think this is like the first of many, and season 1 doesn't really scratch the surface of what happened before and what's going to happen after. So
Yeah, and that's why we need more seasons.
yes,
We need more seasons
Load it.
because
yeah.
not anything she said is because I want to be in the second season as a dead body.
Yes.
And that's the real reason
Who would
that
you
we
play?
need us. I don't know. I just so it's always been a dream. I've been telling all the actors, anybody in
Yeah.
film and TV that come on this,
Yeah.
that I really want to play a dead body. So I told Pa. He said, okay.
I think you'll regret that because there's a lot of like.
No, that's all I want to do. I just want to be like.
Okay.
That's my dream.
Well,
Just because I want
we're gonna make it
I want somebody to be watching it and be like, that's a cute little podcast guy just dead.
Yeah.
Like not even a big, not even like a main role, just like
yeah.
a side. You just see somebody dead and it's me.
It's you. Are you
It's
good at
me.
holding
It's like
your
an
breath?
Easter egg.
Like,
Yeah, I'll do whatever I need.
I'm so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
go tongue out. I'll
Yeah.
go one eye open, one eye closed, whatever you want.
Well, you know, Jason. Oh no, that's a spoiler. Off the record.